Hello, welcome guys. It's the last round of season 19, and there is the big season 20 of North American Online League. First round scheduled for March 17th, 1 month from now. I hope you guys get a chance to sign up, meet some new friends, and play some good games. Get your free reviews at naol. Kicking off today, we have 3 games. First game we have Steve Stringfellow versus Jake. Steve has been a long-time AGA big-time board member, and let's see how they go. Jake, I believe, is a youngster, so the old and the young battling heads in this one. And we see a relatively old Joseki. Steve, chat is telling me Steve is from San Diego. Very, very nice. This is one of the oldest Josekis, dating back to the 1980s. Very, very famous one. Let's see if they pick the modern variations or the older ones. This is one of the more modern variations, and this is already pretty tricky. The very old one is Atari on the top. This one is famously a little bit good for black, even though white feels like there's nothing to be unhappy about capturing 2 stones. Total thickness. Black gets Sente and divides up white's corner into, half and half. And the Sente is the crucial difference. Okay, white decides to Atari underneath. This is very tricky at the moment. The safest Joseki to go for is to go for an exchange. This Ponuki for Ponuki exchange is locally even. It favors black slightly because the black stone is towards the outside and the white stone is facing the inside edge. So this is a little bit good for black. The normal Joseki goes extend, and then here to defend the 2 cutting points, white plays here at Q2. If white plays on the outside, the extended Sente, and then the block will capture 2 white stones. This is very bad for white. After white defends the 2 cutting points and secures the capture of the 3-3 R3 black stone, black presses once or twice and then generally blocks here. And this is pretty even as well. Okay, so in the game, black probably will connect. Connect is the most logical thing you come up with without the Joseki's knowledge. Strongest move for white is to extend up, and then locally this ladder works for black. So this overall shape is probably about even, slightly good for white if there is a difference. Okay, let's see how white plays. White decides to go to replicate the older Joseki, and so we have the normal Joseki shape. Here, remember the press on the outside was played first in the Josekis because the more black sort of saves the corner aji, the less white is able to play the Hane move. And for example, like this, black has maybe a chance to block on the inside and then block here, and this is complicated to slightly, black can already play this move and secure life in the corner while white doesn't have life. So this is why the outside presses are played first before the block over here that gives a corner totally to white. Let's see if this comes into play. In the game, this does not come into play. The pressing moves are more helpful for black, so it's better for black to get them rather than not get them. Okay, black extends the press now is very important. It's slightly good for white now. Black would like to have the press and then extend. This way, when white turns, the pressure, the danger on the black outside groups stones are not as great. Okay, so in the game, this is slightly uncomfortable for black. Noticeably, there's this very nice peeping point, which is probably Sente. Okay, so black takes steps to protect the cutting point. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. This is a modern AI-inspired move. This is totally fine. This invasion, we all know that the 3/3 invasion is fine, but black is very likely to choose this kind of a Joseki, blocking off the territory on the upper right side. White's move here is intended, and this is very likely to happen in the game, to get this Joseki to happen, and this way white's corner is a little bit more comfortable than usual. So it's kind of like it's like I have leverage over you. You want to surround your right hand side, so I'm gonna take advantage of that a little bit. Totally fine. One way to fight back against this is black taking the corner, but this will not be black securing any right hand side moyo. So this is very interesting how this is played. In the game, black blocks here. In terms of the blocking direction, this is a little bit not in the right direction for black, but as long as black is thinking that the right hand side, giving up the potential territory, transferring that to full territory in the corner, that's generally fine. Generally fine. Okay, and white plays this attachment move. Interesting. We just talked about the exchanges, corner territory for the side territory. Here's the crucial thing to judge whether the exchange was good or not is how strong black's shape on the lower right side is. If black's shape has no problems on the mid lower right hand side with this kind of shape, then this is totally fine for black, and the black position is sort of acting as a neglect, acting as like a canceling out force against this white thickness here. If white is able to, for example, invade here and then survive, this will be very problematic for black, and the black potential territory is immediately going to turn into one or more potentially endangered groups, and that's what black does not want to see. So in the game, when white plays this attachment, this allows black to very well settle the right hand side. Of course, white is doing this to settle himself, but assuming that black settles, white settles, this overall should be acceptable to slightly good for black. Consider extending as well. If you count up the territories on the right half of the board, I'm sure black comes out on top. White has a few stones on the bottom, black has a few stones on the top. The left-hand side of the board is 2 stones versus 2 stones. There's also this cutting point. So there's no reason for black to be unhappy about this result. In the game, black attempts for more and then cuts. It feels to me like this is black asking for a little bit too much. White's Panuki is generally a fairly strong shape, and starting this fight, black played 2 moves, this Hane and an extend move, sort of fairly close to the strengths, and then the cut Atari is quite strong, but the cut Atari cuts white, but black is himself also cut. I'd recommend Atari on the outside here, and then just connect and then move on from this position. Let's see how this fight goes. Black has to crawl. Here white has multiple strong moves to play. White elects to turn simply. This is fine. The strongest thing white can play is Hane, and then makes a turn, and then Atari. This way white gets 2 Ataris in Sente, and then this outside Atari will force black to be relatively this is uncomfortable for black. There's all kinds of shortages of liberty situations on the outside, for example. So moves like the attach tend to be very, very strong. And if we look at how much territory black got, this is not materially more than before. In the game, this is also very strong. Black will have to save the 2 stones somehow, and this turn is still Sente, and this is a bit of a more favorable fight for white, it seems. Atari here gives black a chance to sort of step back and then get back to the original good shape. Surrounds the territory on the right. These 2 stones are not totally dead and can continue to play elsewhere. If white extends, then Atari here giving up the least important stone here, and eventually white will have to make an R13 life in Gote. This could be something that really holds white back in the future fight. This would be very, very interesting for black. In the game, black is likely to have played the Atari directly. This way, white's capture is a little more efficient, and then this turn is still Sente. Black generally is able to get the same position, probably fairly favorable for black overall in the fight. So white's move, turn and then Atari from the outside, much, much better. This way white can survive like this in Sente if he wants to. Good. Very good. Overall, black has played the more important points, and this bout will go to black here. Good. Oh, white turns. White for sure wants to play whatever white was going to play without this turn. Just Hane, this turn is an inside-outside exchange, and it's going to lose a little bit of value, even if black just Ataris like this. Black jumps, okay, and white goes with this peep. It's a very, very strong peep. The danger is if black goes for this kind of a counter-attack, and then a peep and something strong like this, suppose white defends a cutting point, and if this happens, this white runs into a lot of danger, losing a lot. White is counting on something like this cut, this peep, and then this move to sort of make something happen inside the black territory. But even if black just takes the outside stones, this exchange looks to be fairly good for black. After everything, white probably has to Gote live on the right hand side. That's why we don't see white giving up on this. We see white connecting. Black plays here. Let's see. And right now, if white plays a cut, runs into the risk of black not answering any of the cutting point threats and just sort of capture 7 white stones for 4 black stones. This is probably what white is very, very afraid of. So in the game, white tries to save these stones, but upon this shape being realized, white has no way out. This is a lot of danger to white at the moment. White pushes and cuts. This is white's best chance, probably, but needless to say, this looks and feels very, very dangerous for white. Not very dangerous for black, on the other hand. And so white decides to give this up, and probably was forced to do this hard to see any way to really fight against this black position. Strongest move by black was here, and then playing a move like this. But this is one, very co-ish, and two, after black plays this way, black would like to capture white this way, but he can't. This is a snapback, so it's a very, very interesting position here. Another very strong move by black is to Atari here first. Unfortunately, black has to extend here in order to keep white from being able to block here to capture black. So it's hard. This Atari is probably black's strongest way to play, but let's just say at this moment I can understand if black was not thinking about the strongest thing, but rather the safest thing. So after this, definitely a major success for black, but let's just remember that this group capture is about 30 points, and it's not the end of the game. The game continues even though it's in black's favor. So okay, this is another older Joseki. Very good. This is slightly good for white, but on this board probably reasonable for both sides. Here, two moves. One is to play here. This is the most modern way to approach this position. Basically, it forces white to play this extent, and then black will have a very whole shape. In the past, we've seen this Joseki this way. White has a very nice and outwards looking shape. Feels like black is pushing from behind. Another Joseki goes like this. And this one famously, when white Ataris here, black sometimes has to give up the outside stone, and black may not want to do this. And so this diagonal move is a modern Joseki like equivalent that sort of gets the best of both worlds. It has the threat to Atari and blob up white coming up next, and also it is like relatively strong for black's own shape. So in the game, this move is a little far away from the local position, and this allows the turn to be sente, and so this sort of opens up white's liberties. White has 3 liberties now, and white has a relatively comfortable shape on the outside. Okay, white invades. This is probably a fairly good invasion. Also, other big moves, playing here or invading here. Invading here might be more promising, but in the game, white, this is not a bad way to try to go for something very substantial. Okay, sideways headbutt. White is destroying black potential territory. Makes perfect sense. Black needs to extend here. In the game, black plays here. So black attacks from the right hand side. This is a very classic and common mistake in terms of the attacking direction. Always attack in a way that strengthens your weakest attacking stones. In this case, black attacking from the right hand side, black already captured the white group there, so it's just another stone on top of a super strong thickness where black has already captured white. Okay, and this move is not likely to be sente. See, black would like to play this move to take away white's eyes, but white has a very nice, dead stone Aji like this, and white is really not troubled on the right hand side. Now that I see what black is planning, then the previous move makes a lot of sense. But the having spent 2 moves threatening something that was ignored is just can't be a good result. So okay, after all of this, yeah, and white wedges here, this is where black has to be a little bit careful. Also feels like black will be fine. Yes, this turn Atari is a crucial move. Okay, white extends, black connects. Good. Feels like white is not able to do any damage to black. And then at the end of this, white connects and lives. However, white has destroyed the top side, and white made some territory there. So this has to be overall a success for white. Black is still not alive. There's one more point, which is throughout the game, even though it was black with the fighting victories, white has displayed a lot more ambition, and you can tell how white has always been a little bit more aggressive, and black was always responding. And the danger here is, even though the game may not be in white's favor, this kind of aggression really helps white remain on the striving side of everything. White is always running very fast. And on the other hand, when you're stuck on the defensive, on the opposite end, on the passive defensive aspect, and doing these defensive fights, you win the fights, you get ahead, but that just makes you feel like it has very bad psychological results, in that you win. What happens if you get ahead? It's natural to get even less aggressive and more defensive. So if you're responding if you're fighting these response type of fights, you're basically stuck between bad, you have some negative effects even if you are winning the fights. So that's the biggest danger. And here, white invades. Probably, fighting has been about even. White lost the right-hand side fight. White has won the top-hand side fight. We have come to this position, and black ends up allowing white to connect underneath here, and make territory, destroy black territory. And this is now a very dangerous position for black. The momentum is all against. The momentum is all black, being defensive, black being unambitious and everything. So this is now probably white has turned around the game, and probably more so. And that black connects here, attacking this white group, makes a lot of sense. And black is displaying a lot of wherewithal and understanding of what we just talked about. Maybe this is black playing a little bit more aggressively as a result, and that goes for this attack. Good. I applaud this from black here. Okay, white survives on the top. Black has gotten a surround on all three sides in the middle here. There's a little bit of weakness on the left with the push and cuts. Right now, it's very important for black to maximize his middle, and you don't maximize the middle by playing. I was gonna point out this move. You're not gonna maximize the middle with this kind of move, because white is gonna make these pushes, these Ataris, these moves. It's gonna significantly weaken the left-hand side, even if black survives on the left. We can see here how much territory white is making on the bottom, almost as much as black is making in the middle. So this is for sure not the way to surround the middle. How do we want to develop and use our middle resources? We have to go for the cut. One, the game already may be very not good for us. The whole left-hand side of the board black hasn't surrounded any territory. White has surrounded over 35 points plus the top, which is another like 7-8 points. White's made 40 points on the left, which is a lot. Right now black wants to play this move, get into a fight on the bottom here, and then black needs to go for this kind of total surround. If black can get say this cut ends up in center, and then black ends up connecting like this, and then something like this, where black is able to get the whole center and sort of push down on white's bottom. This would be the maximizing ways. Okay. This cut, I know it's very hard to play because these stones are surely going to get captured, and it's very hard to play. There are multiple counterattacks possible for white. So, but anyway, so the cut is a very, very good idea. Okay. Right now, white didn't play the cuts first and hunted here. This is for sure a good moment for black to play this cut, allow the middle to get at least the 3 stones to get captured, and then continue to develop on the bottom. The 1 stone being almost as valuable as all the 3 stones plus some territory on the other side. Moreover, this jump doesn't actually protect against the cut. There is still this cutting weakness, and black is paying for it in the game. Okay, see, black cuts, and this Atari and this outside-in Atari destroys black's center. Yeah, this is probably not something that black can come back from. Very interesting. So black won the first fight on the right-hand side pretty handily, but whenever there was contact later on in the game, black was totally overmatched, and so very interesting game to see here. And at the end, white wins by a huge amount. The game was still very close at around this moment, and white by 2 at this moment. Just everything started crashing as, and this is a good example of this very defensive sort of give way mindset, snowballing itself into more and more unfavorable positions here. It's another misread, and then everything was no good. All right. Well played. What? Who's asking? Yes. Yes. Remember what we started at this moment. The question is, don't see how M4 cut is gonna be good for black, and that's because it's hard to see the M4 stone surviving after this. We showed one diagram that looked like this, where we talked about white's counterplay like this, and then in the second diagram we saw something like this. Just remember that this losing 2 stones and then getting Aji out of it allows black to surround a much bigger center than he otherwise would. And what you don't want to do is, so in this case, the thing to remember is when black plays K8, a reasonable surrounding move in the center, this is sort of, by surrounding the center, he is giving white a very, very good leverage or threat, the threat to destroy black's center. That is going to at once force sort of the question now is how much of the center can black end up getting? Once you're fighting over how much of the center black is getting, the bottom white is gonna be extremely big. It's gonna, you can see here how automatically the white territory on the bottom is at least 6 lines. The white stones are on the 7th line, but take away some of this and white still surrounds a very large bottom. Rather than this, you want to cut start some complications on the bottom, even though you're very you're surely going to die, but as long as you're questioning, you're putting this as a question. Like for example, you play 5, you get white to some move that gets white to play a defensive move on the bottom that surrounds the white side. Now your middle gets to really become a much larger. We will do the math at the end, and it's much better this way. This is how you use. This is a case of use your aji or you totally lose it. It's very easy to get stuck in this very passive mindset where you are just thinking about how big can I surround my center. And so the cut sort of like tries to jump out of this. It's kind of like a narrative in the storytelling, and you're focused by shifting the focus into now white's territory is in danger, and some of the white stones are getting cut off on the outside. For example, white goes into your center. Black has a chance to play some moves on the bottom like this, and by shifting the narrative to a case where you're also endangering white at the same time, you give yourself a much better chance. And this is a very interesting part of the game where it's like I'm pointing out a path of play which is like clearly the 2 stones are probably not going to survive, but at the same time you probably do want to play this way. It's a very interesting moment in the game, and this is where the active and passive plays really differ. And hopefully you guys will play much more actively, more aggressively, instead of trying to defend your middle there. Great question, guys. Okay, let's continue and catch up. The next game we have Kevin versus Anthony, 2-1 dance. Let's see how the game is played. I know, guys, a lot of us have a aversion to losing stones, but sometimes we do have to reach out on the risk spectrum. Sometimes we do have to play with some super aggression in order to try to get what we want and make our comebacks and things like that. And don't worry, you don't have to try this. Okay. First aggressive move of the game, attacking the 2 black stones. Makes a lot of sense. The only thing I will modify here is try to approach lower. This way we have a honey connecting center. It just defends the corner much better. This way, for example, if black just extends down later, black has a very nice extension move here and a very nice move to go into white's corner. Okay, interesting. This counter pincer is for sure to be played. Okay, Hane block. Okay, this is probably fine. Let's see how the following moves are played. White headbutts sideways. Very interesting. Let's see if black extends up or down. Black ends up strengthening the left-hand side. Probably okay, there is a corner weakness left over. White defends a corner, very surprisingly, but totally understandable. The right-hand side is begging to be played. These kinds of moves are very, very big, but this will also allow black to dig into white's corner a little bit. Although white can probably hold on in this position with this sequence, and this is no damage done to the corner. If black ends up cutting here, this is a very famous shape where if white connects, this is some kind of a ko. White needs to play these moves, and then this is a very, very complicated position here. If white is able to jump here, there will be no kos here, and this is probably holding for white. So even though there are problems in the corner, I think white is able to get away with a tanuki. Okay, so black ends up getting the right-hand side. This is the most important spot. So good job for black here. And then black jumps. Okay, I will recommend us to skip the inside out peeps as much as we can, and this is a very close one. I don't blame black for playing the safety peep first and then jumping out. If we're able to skip it, it's it's worth like 2 points. Okay. Wow, very interesting. Black jumps out the left-hand side. Probably black is weaker than white. On the right-hand side, white is weaker than black. Very interesting here. The jump will be fine. This is white strengthening himself, and black is not going to make any territory on the left. So this is a first choice. On the right-hand side, we just said on the right-hand side, white is weaker than black. Here, white is afraid of this white is afraid of leaving a cut here, because white is not likely to gain much as a result of this complicated fight. Okay. Yeah, white ends up scrambling for life here. This will be a little bit better for black. Interesting. So here, if the extend ends up in a sente move, then it's a very relatively straightforward surround, and this is a very interesting application of trying to surround your opponent from a slight distance. This way, when white reaches out to cut black, but because white has to reach out, the force of the cut is not as great. It's kind of like black is waiting for white at a bit of a distance, and white reaching out is not able to really damage black. This is a good case of building up strength and then maintaining like a netting distance. Okay. In the game, black ends up just blocking, and this one, by being very, very close to white, we can see in the game white is able to find a peep, black connects, and then the cut. And in the game, white is able to find a very, very nice cut. This fight is very handily won by white. Just imagine if black had this as a sente move, and then if the same thing happened, black would be totally fine. In any case, it is now white cuts and is able to counter surround the 2 and now the 3 black stones. Very, very good moment for white here. And black extends back and dies in gote. Not recommended. Black is not going to get sente in any case, but if you Atari and turn, black can keep the the basic territory on the bottom. If black plays the capping move, black can attack very strongly over here, and white jumps. This is a good testing move to push. If white blocks you, there this kind of sente moves, and maybe black can get back at white here. If white extends, then these moves are all sente, and again black is able to sort of bandage this position up. So black extends. This is dying in gote. For sure, this will not be very, very good, even if white just ataris. Okay, probably just tanuki this, and white is fine. White goes down. Yeah, this is fine for white, and black is not able to surround the bottom territory, unfortunately. Okay, great. Just like our opposite of how of last game, this game, the first decisive fight significantly goes to one side's favor. Here white is probably able to play one more move in the corner using this the ladder not working to put even more pressure on black. In the game, white ataris here, black ends up living in gote. Good for white, good for black for living, but the game is not going to be in his favor. Okay, this is a good moment. White is going to connect, and black survives without ko on the inside. So black maintains himself a chance into the game. The bottom fight went very badly, but at least black has has more stones on the upper side of the board. Here, white correctly identified that this move is a sente move. Probably white wants to exchange these peeps as little as possible, and then play this kind of cut. It's very, very tempting right now for white to tanuki here and then play another move on the top right. This way white will get advantage on all parts of the board. This is not this middle push is really not possible. So yeah, this would be great. Let's say if black ends up playing here, white plays this move, and then white just has to survive, and it's very, very easy to play. A very good opportunity to try to go for a tanuki. Certainly go for the tanuki now. White ends up going for the fight in the middle. That is likely just fine as well, and just a few moves later, white does find this all-important tanuki, huge move on the top right. Okay, great fighting by white. Good job, white. It's like white is getting to play everywhere, and very nice. Here, when black plays here, this move is played so that when white plays here, black, doesn't have to worry about an ice space over here for white, but this is really, really small, and another peep. This is white totally alive, and looks like a desperation attempt at capture for black. That fails, okay. Good. So at this moment, upon arriving at total safety for white, one good idea is to go grab territory elsewhere. And this is a great idea. Uses the fact that white is alive to use this group as thickness and continue to expand on the rest of the board. In the game, white extends here, which is very reasonable. White wants to be as safe as possible. But right here, right after this, white goes on the full offense, which is interesting. White cuts. This is a very, very tough moment for black. But remember last time when we talked about how black wanted to go for not go for the passive surround of the center moyo, but rather went for a very unpromising fight with a cut, tries to get some sacrifice stones and get some resources and surround a bigger center. In this fight, black may be able to do a similar type of strategy, go for a almost for sure bad fight, but get some more stones and then be able to cut white in the center and try to capture white in the center and then come back this way. If black decides on this pass, I'd recommend a few more moves so that the top fight gets a little bit more drawn out, and if white doesn't give way, then this capture is much more likely to succeed. What black doesn't want to do is sort of like startle white. Now white is very, very aware of the one eye situation in the middle here. And as we see in the game, white sort of gets the alarm and just makes the center alive. And this way, even if black is able to finally win that fight on the upper side, it's probably not enough. And white extends. Oh man, extend is beautiful. If white plays the normal looking Hane move, tries to win this liberty fight, black does have a potential Atari like this. And then at this moment white is gonna consider like this kind of thing, and it's a lot more complicated. Well, it's very, very complicated. Maybe this is also fine, but white is losing stones here no matter what. So in the game, white goes for the extend, which is much, much more clear, and this is a very, very good situation for white. Another move on the top, another move on the right, another move on the side are all very important and big moves. This is a weakness that white is defending, so okay, so white Ataris and probably plays one more move. Okay, good. See how in this game black sort of startled white enough and then made white realize the danger, and then white took plans accordingly, and this is likely gonna result in a overall win by white. Very, very interesting, good game played by white in this game. Very interesting. Interestingly here, black is totally dead with this entire group, but white sort of lets black live, which does make sense. Wow, so I thought this favored white, and but little did I realize this was for the entire black group on the outside. Very, very nice. Okay. In hindsight, there was basically nothing that black could have done in this one. The bulk of the losses came in the first fight of the game. It was very, very instructive here. Remember, very often when you're at this kind of a cross-cutting fighting position, strengthening yourself at the same time as you're attacking the opponent often involves strengthening yourself and opening up a little bit of distance against the opponent. If you don't open up the distance, usually you're not making enough of a strengthening effect on yourself. In the game, black presses. This is 3 liberties. If black extended up, this would be 4 liberties. And then jumping sideways would have a much, much easier time of the fight. You can see here white ends up playing not saving the 2 stones, which would be locally a success for black for sure. Great. And so huge losses upon not capturing the opponent, but don't feel bad. This happens absolutely all the time, so all good. Okay, for our last game we have 3Q and 4Qs, and it's Enrique Garcia, a tournament organizer in California. Very let's see how he plays. He appeared in some tournament streams recently. So Enrique is, I don't know which who is playing who here. I'll just assume Enrique is Firefox. And okay, very good, very reasonable Joseki here, and a knight's move on the outside. Good. White invades. Good. The headbutting move is a very good Joseki that is very common nowadays. Good, highly recommended. Black goes for a pincer, which is very interesting. Let's see how white goes for the full strongest move possible. It's only natural to go for the push and cut. Right now it's very important for white to attempt to go for an exchange. Atari and Hane and Tiger Mouse. The next Tiger Mouse is key. Good job on both sides. And yes, extending back. This does not allow white to go for some exchanges. Does not allow white to cut and then capture 1 stone and settle inside the black sphere of influence. Black extends. Good. Let's see, white presses and black defends. Very nice, very interesting. So very good. This is connecting on the top, even though it feels like connecting on the second line doesn't feel good. This is very big and very important, because this eye space is what's gonna make all the top black positions secure. And that security is what's going to allow black to, in the future, swing over and attack white. Attachment, nice. The turn is the strongest counter-attacking move. The block here is the strongest defensive move. Probably go for the counter. We played, eye space full plenty moves on the top, so this turn is actually a very strong attack against against white. Black turns. Okay, this is going to allow white to block on the outside in Sente, but white is not in the mood for defensive hold positions. White. Another attach, very interesting, and black connects. Strongest move probably extend up, and this is going to force white to something like this. Okay, black connects, white defends a corner. A very interesting set of exchanges. I don't see this every day. Very interesting. And a tanuki. This kind of a attacking move is very strong at this moment. Black plays here. This side is comparably not as important. If white plays this move or some move in the corner, this would be settling white with territory. White extends. Very interesting. So black is under heavy risk of playing too slow, too thick. Another push and cut. Wow, this very interesting. White is having a lot of fun this game. I'm sure. So aggressive. Okay, attach and Hane. Another Hane. This is white is like white takes any reasonable move and just goes farther. Like this is a reasonable move. This peep is a reasonable move. He just exposes a cutting point and waits for black to cut. Very interesting, and he gets away with it. Interesting. Again, as usual, at this moment, white has played so many super aggressive moves. This has to be very, very good for black at the moment. White is in a lot of danger, but as we talked about before, white is showing a lot of resolve and fight and aggressiveness and ambition. When black seems to have been winning the first couple of fights in this game, after you start winning fights, the natural inclination is to play it safe. And as soon as you start playing it safe, no matter how big your advantage is, it's always in danger. And at this moment, white is gonna die with everything. And this is gote, a connect move. This is total disaster for white. We just mentioned how after you start getting ahead in this kind of fight, the natural tendency is to play very, very safe and everything. Okay, black played here. Ooh, nice wedge. Wow. I think white just turned it around. Black plays a capture. White is able to save the group and capture 3 black stones on the outside. Well, that was very, very magical, very nice. However, white pays with the right-hand side group, and Hane does capture it. Now it's a good moment for us to always remember that the game is over the entire board, while the Hane is a clear move. White just saved a huge group and captured many black stones at the same time. It may be a good idea for black to do the following, which is use the thickness we made with capturing 2 stones to the greatest extent possible. How do you use any thickness? You make your opponent play close to your thickness, and nothing sort of tempts the opponent there more than sort of like leaving enough space, and for example play here, tempt white to try to make this group alive, and play 9 for example, and now white makes 1 eye, but you play 11, white is gonna die, not be able to make a second eye here, and this would be really black sort of taking control back in the game and then winning. Of course, this is what we're talking about. Once the fighting has been going very well for you, and then big exchanges happen, at this moment the natural tendency is always to play the safest move, the safest capturing move, and in this example it's here. And okay, so at this moment it's very, very important for black to start counterattacking in the middle here, because black has a weakness here, and in the game when black plays this turn, this allows white to sort of block off the bottom, and pretty soon, oh my god, pretty soon we'll be we're gonna start looking at the lower left hand side for white and wondering, like, how is it that big and things like that. In the game a ko happened. Oh boy, I hope black doesn't take the momentum and just capture 1 stone. I hope he is able to cut on the outside and capture a sizable amount. No, he captures there. And so this overall, I don't know how this happened, but for sure now white is entirely back and in the game and into the lead. Wow. Hane, Atari, and the Atari, yes, we found the culprit. We need to Hane here and then cut white and then connect and just fight against the 2 stones and capture those. White will probably fight back something like this, and then Atari cut the outside and then connect, and then we can cut the 4 stones. Probably the best to play it this way. Okay, good. And at the end here, white lived in Sente. I'm sure white is doing well now. At this moment, probably the best thing for white is to go less aggressive and more defensive. Play a move here, play a move like this, and where you're able to easily defend any of the problems that would come over here. Maybe play here and count up the territory on the board, and we'll reach like 20, 30, 50 points for black, less than 50 points, and clearly white is going to have a lot more than 50 points with the whole bottom. So we talked about how on the winning side, when you're winning the fights, the natural tendency is to play as safe as possible. The same can be said, a similar issue arises when you're on the losing side of the fight. You play like the most aggressive move you think of, which is, in this game, it's this move. Remember how defensive we wanted white to play, and being able to play some move like this will be really, really nice for white. And just modify the game move to one more space below, like this. Play this jump. These would all be very, very nice. As white here, you really want this game to be a question of how much can black, how much can black reduce the white territory on the bottom. And you don't want the game to be about, like when black pushes, extend, push, and now you block. You don't want the game to be about black invading, and you don't want the game to be where black is invading and can black get some counterattacks? Can black, how much, you don't want the game to be this kind of a question. Okay, good. Let's see. So in the game, upon playing here, black has no choice but to go into the white area, and good thing that white answers pretty well. Defends in the weakest where the most cuts are, and so this is white is turning the corners relatively well. Okay, and in the end, black looks like black successfully destroys the majority of the white potential territory on the bottom, but white was able to make basically keep both corners, and upon keeping both corners, this territory is going to be enough for white to take this game. Very interesting, and white ends up winning by 18 at the end. Very good. Now let's see how, so here 22-16. Okay, so this block was not as bad as I expected, but remember what we're talking about. White now is should be very, very generous and wants to make this game, like the uncertainty in the game, and uncertainty of like how much can black reduce, even like play here, how much can black reduce white's territory here, and not about how much whether black is gonna destroy everything from white. Anyways, good. Yeah, black was up by 50 points, and let's just say the end game was, the later game wasn't perfect. We saw white play, continue to play moves like this one, like this one. But this move, this is like what white was doing the whole game, like err on the side of more aggression, err on the side of more death, and white did win in the end with many stumbles. Perhaps this is the most important thing we can take away from today's set of games. When you play with such ambition, and when you play with such aggressiveness, it pays off more often than you would think. You also tend to make many more mistakes than the opponent, but that's not a bad thing. Making more mistakes than the opponent, it may not even be a bad thing. Okay, I'm sure white made many more mistakes than black did in this game, but white ended up winning. In the first game, black played very, very safe and did win the fight. We talked about how the middle was in a close game, the middle was like a point where, after this, black really gave up all chance of winning, upon another mistake later. But the fight is no longer about the fight is no longer about anything uncertain on white's perspective, and in this case, this cut is losing stones is usually not what you what one likes to do, but this is a case where the cut sort of opens up some kind of uncertainty in your opponent's safety, and this little bit is what draws me to something like this, where it's clearly a dying approach, and so hopefully you guys can pick up the spirit of this move. The move itself, you're probably gonna die here, so it's not a great move or anything. But the spirit behind, contesting for the game, and then not resting on your laurels, and then sometimes when you have a potential to claim way above whatever you can surround in the last game, make sure you are able to sort of be more and more reasonable in how much you are able to contest for, and things like that. All right. So in two different cases, I wanted what stood out to me. What stood out to me was a super aggressive, not likely to succeed locally situation, and I was trying to turn that into a full board complicated fight. And then in the last game here, we have such a large mojo that we sort of want this to be about how much of the middle can black destroy, and that way white keeps all of the side, and not about whether white can keep everything. So okay, hopefully you guys can see the emotions, the considerations behind both of these approaches, and hopefully you guys can make more and more proper play in your games, and not play where black played here, and sort of let the opponent successively destroy your own shape, one shape after another. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the last round of North American Online League Season 19. Season 20 is already ready. The sign-ups are ready. Hopefully everyone has a good rest of this season, and see you guys in the next one. This is great. All right. See you guys in the Season 20.